it is 4 p.m. and I am back with the Sunshine Souls podcast. And I'm Heather LaForte. I have a special guest with me. Meet Heather Martinez. And we are going to be talking about her company that is the Blessed Bread Company, Blessed Bread Co. And we're going to be talking about bread and your health and the local area. She is being our spotlight in our local Raise segment. And I am very excited to do this one. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen in a little bit, but I wanted to introduce you to Heather. I've known her for a while. She's awesome. I love her bread. And what did you give me that time? The muffins. I got muffins. And then you made something else for me. I forget what it was. It was like pumpkin something. Your husband dropped it off. I was like, what?
I don't remember, but
I think I ate it in a day, so it didn't, none of the, how long can I keep this even mattered because it was gone. But just options of our food and our local food supply. A lot of people are going in the direction where they're making their own stuff, they're growing their own stuff. And I think that you are right on time. I've always thought that about you, that you were just like prepared for these times. So this all falls into that. And I just want to share it with the community. I want to share your business with the community and what you do. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you wound up making bread.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. My company is called the Blessed Bread Co., and we have been in Palm Coast for 6 years. The business happened organically. Prior to this, I wasn't a huge baker or anything like that, but I just had this strong desire to learn how to make bread. And so I am self-taught. I've been doing it for 3 years. And it kind of happened just very organically and naturally. I started making bread for friends and family. Then they were like, this is really good. I want to pay you for it. And I was like, well, I just, do this for fun. Like, I don't want to take your money. And it just kind of grew that way. And everyone was like, you really need to make a business. And I didn't think that I should because I didn't want to stop loving it. And I just started, I finally, out of the urging of my family, was like, okay, I'll see where this goes, And I made some bread, or I made a post, and I had one person from the community from that post place an order, and then she posted about it in a community page, and it kind of just blew up from there. And then I created just ways for people to order, and it's been amazing. I'm just so thankful for this business.
And you really rock it. Like I get your text, like you're completely automated. Like you're the real deal. You are the real deal for somebody who just like wanted to learn how to make bread. And it's so funny because that's how most of things usually happen. They flow like easy,
Mm-hmm.
But you are right on time with everything. And how does your business actually work? Like tell me a little bit about your process of how you get your bread going for everyone. Because I know you were doing festivals and stuff, but you don't anymore. So tell us how you work.
Okay, so we do online ordering. Ordering closes on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. for pickup that same Friday. People can pick up their bread at my home in the P section. I have pickup times available on Friday and Saturday. And then normally I always like to tell people if you aren't available during those times, you can always message me, and I'm always willing to work with people. I've delivered bread for people who didn't have a car. So I'm always really flexible in that. I also do a drop off one Friday a month in Ormond. And so I make my dough on Wednesday. It ferments for 24 hours. I bake it, and then they pick it up.
Nice. So
Yeah.
how long, talk to us about how long your bread lasts.
So typically homemade bread, especially sourdough bread that's been fermented, it could probably, if stored properly, it could last for a good 4 to 5 days. I always like to tell people that if they still have bread on the third or fourth day, to slice it, wrap individual slices in plastic, put it in a Ziploc, and then freeze it, because it's actually sourdough bread is, and I know we're going to talk about this, but it's so good for you, period. But then it's even better for you after you've eaten it after it's been frozen, because it turns into resistant starch.
Oh,
So the body recognizes it more as fiber, and it is it's even easier to digest. So and your body, your sugar doesn't spike. So
wow. So I should almost buy it and put it in the freezer right away. Because then
yes.
it will be better. Okay, that's good
Hmm.
to know. That
Hmm.
actually brings me to the whole point why I brought up this podcast. I was watching YouTube one day, and you know how the algorithm goes. So when you start watching, you know, making your own food or whatever, um, I got into a string of fake food. And one of the videos was about all of the bread that we're eating that's fake. And I was disgusted for one. They were talking about how most of the bread that we're eating has uh, spackle in it. And spackle and what else? Oh, I have my notes before, but
Glyphosate.
glyphosate was the other one. There's something in the middle there. But it's just poisonous. And
Yeah.
the FDA is allowing a certain amount of the you're just shaking your head. You're like, this is why. Um, I'm really just going to share my screen because I can't do it justice.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you can hear the girl's voice on here. Because it was kind of scary. Really, the stuff that she was talking about. I just have to get to it. It's annoying. Here we are. Okay. I hope that the volume's going to work. We're going to be little in the corner. So let me just go in here.
Most people eating bread every morning have no idea what's actually in it.
6:23 this morning. Before you even make the toast, listen to this. New for you this morning, Florida health officials say they found a common weed killer in popular bread brands that are sold statewide.
Florida's Department of Health pulled major bread brands straight from grocery store shelves and sent them to a certified lab. The results were alarming, and the worst numbers didn't come from the cheap store brands. They came from the ones with organic labels, the ones marketed to health-conscious families, the ones people pay extra for specifically because they think they're making the safer choice. One brand tested above 1,000 parts per billion of glyphosate, the active chemical in Roundup, in finished bread you're slicing and eating every single day. You're going to recognize every name on this list. Number 10, Great Value Whole Wheat. Walmart's house bread, always cheap, always stocked, always selling.
So we're not going to sit and watch the whole video together, obviously.
Hmm.
But I almost want to fast forward through all of this because look, there's no words.
Their Market Pantry whole wheat sandwich bread carries a USDA organic seal, yet testing found 348.
Target coming up again, not looking out. So there's a couple things that I might go back to on there, but I'm going to stop doing that. Did you hear it? Were you able to hear the video?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, cool. I was worried about that. I was trying to see if it was on Facebook, and then, but it went through all these brands, and then it went through a main company that is the manufacturer or whatever you call them. Bimbo is their name, and they've
Hmm.
bought all of the bread companies. They bought Arnold's. They're even Dave's And I had to send it to my son because my son was like, this is the best bread. It's healthy. It's this. And I was like, as soon as I was like, no, not Dave. I was so upset because like I reach for Dave knowing that I'm doing something healthy for myself. I'm doing something good for my body to nourish it. And we're all trying to, regain our youth, exercise, take vitamins. That's a whole other show, what's in vitamins. But, we're all trying to do these things for ourselves, and it really is simple. So that's why I was like, I have to send you the video, and I wanted to get you on here so we can like bring light to people. Cause I didn't know, like I kind of knew the FDA never has our back. That's just been my thing my whole life, pretty much. Like I've never been a fan of the FDA or pharma. I've always known what they're about, but it's so blatant in our face now that I don't even understand how they're even getting paid to work. Cause most people are getting laid off, right? It's like you're not essential at this point even. So they're pretty much poisoning us and allowing it up to a certain amount, which is scary because when you talk about the glyphosate, some people, if they're on heart medicine or cholesterol medicine, it will spike that and it can turn people into having heart problems, having a heart attack. It could cause so many other problems. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it actually causes, but they did talk about it in the video. I will drop the link to the video so you could watch the whole thing. And it goes through all the brands in there. I do have screenshots of them, but I'm pretty sure it's more than that.
Yeah.
When you buy bread from the store, it's like this perfect loaf. All this, like, you don't remember when we were younger and like you would get like Wonder Bread and you'd have to like flip it and make sure like you had to use like those two pieces because the other two were going to be smaller. Like it's not that way anymore. They're all the same size. It's like this square loaf and it's all cut. And honestly, I had Arnold's, the Hearty Nature in my pantry for like 2 weeks and it started going moldy after 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks. That's disgusting. That's like almost, the Oreo has the longest shelf life. We can all agree on that. As much as I love my Oreo, I know that's not real cream in there. I know that it's not chocolate, but they do have longer shelf life. But I was pretty impressed with that bread. I was like, and I went and made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, knowing after I saw the video, but I was like, it's here. And and I still ate it. And I was kind of like, whatever, it's not going to affect what I've been putting in my body my whole life. So, but the size of the bread, like, is just the same. So when you get a nice, like, homemade sourdough, now you have like multiple different kinds of bread that you make. Cause I've gotten like the big round one. I've gotten the square one. I think the square one was what your husband dropped off. And it was like some kind of pumpkin bread. It was around November. It was like, harvesty time. It was that kind of thing. It was good. But is there, tell me about like your line of what people can get. Obviously the sourdough, we all see like the big round thing and we know that that's sourdough, but what else do you make?
So I mostly do loaf shape loaves because it's easier to slice and also it's easier for me to make several at a time versus 2 round ones at a time in a Dutch oven. But if someone prefers the round boule, the sourdough typical shape, loaf, then I'll do it that way for them. But I also as a home baker, it's important too what kind of flour you're using. So I use organic flour. The flour that I use is from Costco, but they get their flour from Central Milling, and Central Milling uses hard red wheat berries. So if I was going to mill my own flour, which I have done in the past, I would get hard red wheat berries and mill it and use that flour to make the bread. And that's the flour that Costco is using for their organic all-purpose flour. So that's the kind of flour I use. I also offer a whole grain bread that has a blend of flours. So it has organic all-purpose flour, it has rye flour, whole wheat flour, and an ancient grain called einkorn flour. So that one is really good for you.
It's
And
good.
then I also do like a blend of flours where it's just whole wheat and regular. And then I also offer a 100% whole wheat loaf. And then there's also tons of other loaves with inclusions like cheddar jalapeno, blueberry lemon. I do focaccia, sourdough cookies, sourdough cinnamon rolls, sourdough granola. So there's lots of different options. And I do use the starter in those items. So everything that I sell is gut healthy.
It all goes right back to the gut. That blueberry lemon one was, I got the jalapeno cheddar and the blueberry lemon. That was the first order that I did when I was doing my Bible study. And then I made the
Mhm.
water and I put blueberries and I put coconut chunks in there and like
Ooh.
lemon slices and like, it was the best. And we just ate bread with butter. It was so good. And it was like warm. I just picked it up.
Mhm.
But oh, sorry. Um, was very good. And then
I'm
there
so
was
glad you enjoyed it.
too. Um, so on top of the bread, what else do you make?
So the bread, the granola, cinnamon rolls, sourdough chocolate chip cookies that are my favorite. Like I can't keep them in the house because I'll just eat them
I'm
all
like,
the time.
oh, I'm trying to not make my eyes like
Yeah. Yeah, they're made with brown butter and topped with sea salt, and it's just like
yum.
really good.
Yeah.
And I have seasonal items. I just started doing sourdough focaccia. And each month I'm going to rotate the flavors. So that is going to be fun. This month
Oh,
it's roasted tomato.
oh no,
What's
I was
that?
just interrupting you.
Oh, that's okay.
When we talk about food, I lose
It's
all
roasted tomato and Parmesan.
oh no, you're
One
frozen.
is
Okay, so you froze for a little
oh,
bit. So roasted. Are you frozen
roasted
again?
tomato and Parmesan focaccia.
Okay.
Am I good?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then blueberry lemon focaccia.
Yum. Now, what could I do with blueberry lemon focaccia? What do you do with
Eat
it? What
it
do you?
with a cup of coffee.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not having coffee anymore, so that's not helping me. I'll have it with my tea, but okay. The other one sounds good
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So your business model, I know you're like all automated, and we talked about your days and everything. Where where can people find you? Like, is it just on social media, your website?
So I am on Instagram and Facebook as the Blessed Bread Co. And I also offer, I know we're going to probably talk about this in a minute, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I do offer, I offer in-person classes. I'm going to start them back up in next month. And then I also have an e-course. And the link for that, all the links are on my pages, and it is theblessedbread.co/method. And right now, I just launched it last week. So we're on a pre sale and you can get it at the discounted price for another week or so. But I'm super excited. Like, I just have a huge passion. Obviously, the reason I do this is so that people in my community have a source of healthy bread, of good bread, so they don't have to eat all the garbage that's in the stores. Because even the grocery stores that have bakeries that sell sourdough bread, if you look on the label, there's chemicals in there still. Um, and so sourdough is flour, water, and salt, period. It shouldn't have anything else in it. And
Yeah.
so, and the sourdough starter is just made with flour and water. So it's flour, water, salt. Those are the ingredients that should be in the bread.
It's
Um,
like,
and
it's
it's fermented,
yeah.
which is why it's good for you. Sourdough bread has a low, I'm going to preface this by saying homemade sourdough bread, because not all sourdough bread is created equal,
Okay.
but homemade sourdough bread has a low glycemic index. So that means it's easy to digest and it does not spike your blood sugar. So my husband, who has a diabetes diagnosis, when he eats the bread, he tested his sugar. He had a piece of sourdough bread, checked it 2 hours later, and his sugar actually dropped. So so yeah, so it's
That's
really
amazing.
good for you. Yeah, it's a healthy alternative.
Mhm.
I'm gonna, excuse me. um, yeah, so I'm really passionate about being a source for people to have healthy bread, but I'm also really passionate about equipping people to make it for themselves because it's important. I think it's just important to know how to do that. And I do it in a way that's fun and easy to understand because it can be overwhelming with a lot of information. So yeah.
So walk me through your class or is it a class or a workshop? When people, do they come to you?
I
Or is
call it a class.
okay.
Yeah, so the one that I do in person, I keep it small. I keep it 5 people, no more than 5 people. It's at my home and it's about 2.5 hours. We talk about everything from how to maintain your sourdough starter, which I do give them. I give them fresh sourdough starter and we go through the whole process. We talk about starter, we talk about fermentation, we talk about mixing, like just all of the steps of making sourdough. We go over it all and then they finish the process. They make it, they start a loaf
Mhm.
or they start the dough at my house and then they finish the last steps at their house. And we do lots of samples and it's really fun. And then for the online e-course, I mail them dehydrated starter with rehydrating instructions. So there's videos for every step of the way. There's videos of me showing them how to rehydrate their starter, which takes 3 days. And then the sourdough process is a 2-day process. So in 5 days, they will have their own sourdough. Now, if someone were to create their own sourdough starter, mine took 12 days. So it could take anywhere from, I would say, 10 to 14 days to have an active sourdough starter. But if they invest in the e-course, then they'll have a loaf in 5 days from when they receive their dehydrated starter.
That's pretty good. So that e-course,
Mhm.
how long of a time investment is it? Is it just videos that they watch step by step? Like, and do they have access to
Yep.
them forever, or how does that work?
They do. Yeah, it's every video step by step. So it's really at their own pace. So they can determine how fast, they kind of work through the process and then they will have them forever. But my favorite thing about the e-course is that we developed a community. So there's a community that they can be a part of forever and they can ask questions and they can share their loaves and they can share like what worked and
Yeah. Technical. I'm gonna share the screen when she's getting back on. And we'll go over here. And I'm gonna fast forward a little bit past. You can actually see, right? I'm gonna
Parts per billion.
and it goes into
Organic certification confirms glyphosate wasn't intentionally applied during production. It doesn't guarantee the finished loaf is glyphosate-free. Herbicide drift from nearby conventional farms can still leave residues, and testing for that isn't required. Parents often pay extra believing the organic label offers complete protection. The laboratory result tells a different story, reminding shoppers that certification and finished product testing are not the same thing. Number 8. Oroweight Organic. Orowheat built its reputation over decades before becoming part of Grupo Bimbo, one of the world's largest baking companies. The Environmental Working Group reported 70 parts per billion of glyphosate in Oro Wheat whole wheat in 2018. The company later reformulated some products, but no publicly available independent glyphosate testing has been released since. That leaves the last verified result still standing years later. Longtime customers say the bread has changed from the denser loaves they remember to a softer product designed for longer shelf life. The familiar logo remains, but consumers have little recent testing to evaluate. Number 7, Nature's Own. The name
You're
suggests
back.
simplicity, but the ingredient list tells another story. Florida's Department of Health found 190 parts per billion of glyphosate in Nature's Own butter bread, and 132 parts per billion in perfectly crafted white. Beyond glyphosate, the bread contains additives such as calcium propionate, datum, and sodium stearoyl lactylate to improve texture and extend shelf life. In 2025, a viral video showed a soaked slice being wrung out before springing back into shape. Whether or not viewers found it convincing, it raised questions about just how engineered modern packaged bread has become. Number 6, Arnold Organic. Arnold has been on America.
How disgusting was that?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't have to approve you back in, so I figured I saw your face on there. Did you see the part?
Are you
Were you
there?
back on? Can you see me? Are you here? Are you frozen again? Oh, I think you froze again. Wi-Fi is tough in these parts sometimes with all the technology that we're doing. There you are. Oh. She's trying to figure it out. I hear you, but I don't see you. I think if you click the link, you can get back in again too. So while we're waiting, I just want to talk about that part of the video where they were saying how you can buy bread that says that it's organic and their farm is organic, but the farm like 5 miles outside of their farm, next to their farm, is not organic, and they're spraying all that stuff, the glyphosate. I always go glyco. The glyphosate, that's how it gets in there, and they don't have to report it. So that Bimbo brand, they have not done any of their testing in God knows how long, because the people that did the video couldn't find any testing for like the past year. So the FDA isn't even holding them to any kind of standard of testing what is in our bread and what's in our food. So I don't know where Heather is, but I am going to post all of her contact information, her socials, her website. Follow her, please, please, please. I know there are lots of bread people in the area making bread. I do stand by her bread. I've had it before. I've, seen how her service works. And I know how she runs her business personally to get everything out the door. So I do recommend her. And I would just hope that everybody follows her. Learn how to make bread. I have to actually learn how to make it, or I could just buy it from her. But we all should really learn how to make it. Such a good girls' night to get, there you are, to get 4 of your other friends together and go make bread. And that is a fun girls' night, I think. And it just gives you, it just gives you something to hold on to, that you can now control what you're putting in your body, your family's body, and nobody else can control it. You're making it and you know what's in it. So these are really good skills. So I'm going to post all of them. They'll be in the description of the video. I'm going to go back in and add them when we're done. Please follow her. If you can leave people with like the last part of your elevator speech, what would it be?
You didn't tell me this question earlier. You're
I
really
always,
taking me off
I always
guard.
do the first one when it's like in the moment. But just like a little last thing to leave people with, like,
Yeah.
whatever you want it to be. You're local, you're close. I mean, you drive bread to people if they don't have a car. Come on. That should be in that should be in the speech. But yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just think
No.
You go.
Yeah, it's fine. I think that for me, and I'm going to talk more about like the learning how to do it aspect. Learning how to make sourdough bread and making it, there's something really special about it. It slows your nervous system down. It brings a lot of healing. For me, I pray when I'm making bread, but it has been such a healing experience. And yeah, sure, you can get overwhelmed really in any new skill that you learn, but I highly recommend attempting to, because when you produce a loaf of bread and your family eats it and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so good, like there's something really special about that. You know that they're eating something that isn't going to harm them. It's good for them, and there's just something really special about that. And then there's so many there's so many sourdough micro bakeries that's kind of trending right now. But I think that that's wonderful. Like, I think it's wonderful that there's so many options in a community to support local cottage bakers who are making sourdough bread. It's a way for them to provide for their family, but then the community they also have sources where they can turn to so they don't have to eat glyphosate. Like, it's crazy. And I like cheer on the sourdough micro bakers in the area. I think it's important that we promote community over competition, because not one single one of us to help people have healthy bread.
Yeah. That's so good. And I think that that is amazing. I think that within the industry, just locally, that's great when everybody can kind of play together.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, our Flagler County has a ton of everything in it. And if you are getting stuff that is like homemade, like that whole process that you were just talking about, like my biggest childhood memory is my mom making bread, and it was special. And it was made with her hands. Like, and I remember she would have her big Tupperware bowl and then she'd push it down, and like 4 days were like, when can we eat the bread? Yeah, it was like this big bowl sitting on a cutting board, and it was like covered in the towel. And we were like, when can we? And she would make it, and it would always be at like late at night. It was like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. Why we were even up? I mean, we were like little hoodlums running around for bread, I guess. But she would make it, and it was like coming out of the oven, and it smelled the whole house up. And me and my sister would like sneak downstairs, and we would like cut the bread and like have a sandwich. And my mom, she knew exactly what we were doing. We didn't think she did at the time, but that is actually one of my favorite childhood memories with me and my sister. Wow. And we didn't have butter on it. We had peanut butter and jelly. which is that peanut butter melted so good on there. But we cut like fat slices, and so making it with your hands, and you just want to protect your family and know who you're getting these things from. Keeping it short and simple.
Sure.
You want to know who's shoving your dough back down to rise again. So, because it's a beautiful process, but it's like, somebody's hand making it, and, you pray over it as other people could do other things. So we don't need to talk about St. Augustine. We're talking about Flagler County. So that's just be careful where you get your bread from, but follow Heather. She's got a wonderful ordering process. You can order and it's pretty much done. Once you order from her, you're like literally on her text thing. Like, I get it. What is it? Every Tuesday and every Thursday. It's like, it's just clockwork automation. I love it. And I'm so proud of you. But then the girls' nights, I mean, why not have a girls' night? Grab 4 of your friends, have a girls' night, go make some bread, go do something that is like good for your soul. And the teaching is amazing. And I'm just so happy that you did that. The advertisement is beautiful. It's perfect. The box and the packet and just everything. I can't wait to see what you do next, because this industry is rising. No pun intended. So it's rising, and you are going to do good things. So follow her on Facebook, on Instagram. She's Heather Martinez. It is the Blessed Bread Co. And it's .co, theblessedbread.co?
The website for the e-course is theblessedbread.co/method. But my website, you can get the link to order through Hot Plate on my page. So the Blessed Bread Co. on Facebook and Instagram.
So I don't want to confuse anyone, so we'll just keep it the Blessed Bread Co. But I'll have all of your contact information and make it easy for people to find you. So share the video. Even if you are not local to the area, or you have friends or your parents, if you're watching this video and you're not local and your parents are, the girl will deliver the bread. So your 86-year-old mom doesn't have to go out and eat bread that is killing her. So let's keep everybody around longer, because, a lot of people are on medicine and you can't have that stuff in your bread. So share the video. I always say sharing is caring. And in this case, it really is caring, because it's helping somebody. Let's stop inputting all these fake supplements into us and just eat the wholesome foods that the good Lord made for us. So let's keep it going. And any questions, you can put them in the comments, and Heather will get back to you. I will make sure that she gets them, and look for the contact information. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for always following everything in Flagler County. And if you are a business and you want to be highlighted in the Sunshine Souls podcast, please reach out. We'd love to highlight your business too. Have an awesome day, everybody.